Coach, thank you as always for joining us. Great response by your team on Friday. I know, ultimately that's what you were looking for. What did you think of the performance?
Yeah, I'm trying to get past Sean's.
I know.
Jordan just skipped right over it. I know.
This is our annual tradition.
Yeah,
you have to answer.
I thought you told me you were going to be a cheeseburger. I thought we were going to do a combo this year. No? Okay. All right.
You first. No, the guys did a good job. They did. We responded. We responded well. We really wanted to get off to a fast start. We were obviously able to do that in the game, build up a lead, and then obviously did a good job in the second half, closing the door, being able to extend it and finish the game off. Good things on all three sides. I thought we handled. They're one of the best pump block teams in the country, so I thought we handled that, which was definitely a key to the game. I thought that the physicality that program is known for, we wanted to be able to match and exceed that, and I thought our guys in large part did that. And then, and then we didn't beat ourselves a lot, which is again that's a team and a coach that typically prey on that. And so I thought the guys took the keys and the emphasis points for the week. They really did it well. I thought we played a really physical game, a very complete game, and obviously proud to get the win, and obviously excited for that to be able to jumpstart us here for this back half.
Coach McKale Lemons jumped off the screen. Obviously, the big special teams play, big catches on the field, making some plays. What does his role mean these last couple of weeks? Seems like he's getting a lot more touches in the offense, and then you expanded role in special teams. Tell us about his role.
Yeah, the kickoff return was a big play, and we decided that we were going to try to split that up. We've obviously been putting a whole lot on Zach there, and so wanted to split that up, and Lim did a good job. He hit the first one pretty good. We were actually one block away from popping the first one, and then he just did a great job seeing that the backside was over pursuing, and it was just a good heads up, just natural play, and he made a great move, and we had some great effort. Obviously, that turned into a big one, and offensively had some big plays. The ball found him a little bit, and sometimes it does, and he was open. He made some competitive plays, obviously some big plays after the catch, and those are some of those big plays that when you make those, and now all of a sudden you don't have to go execute 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 plays in a row to go score. It takes so much pressure off your offense, and I think we saw the opposite defensively. As we gave up a few too many third downs, but the thing that we did, we were really stingy in the red zone, and we didn't give up a ton of huge explosives, so we made Rutgers kind of earn every bit of it. So there was, that was definitely key to the game, our ability to be explosive offensively and do a pretty good job against it defensively.
Coach, you mentioned complete games. I thought Miller had one of his most complete performances so far this year. Protected the football well, went through progression, got the ball to his playmakers in space. How did you evaluate your quarterback's performance on Friday?
He played well. He did. You're spot on. He was. I thought, very in control. I thought the O-line did a good job of making him feel comfortable. We were able to get multiple parts of the offense going, in large part due to the way that those guys played. And he made good decisions. There was really, no ball that was even close to turnover range. Gave our guys chances to make plays. Obviously had a couple big plays with his feet, which was great to see as well. So, no, it was. He came back and played extremely well.
You're listening to the head coach, Lincoln Riley, on Trojans Live. Sean mentioned McKale Lemons. It's 3 straight games now that he has led the team in receiving. We've had conversations throughout the year about the importance or not of having sort of a wide receiver one. In your offense, in your experience, do you care? You used the term earlier that sort of the ball found him. Is that what you want, where the ball just sort of finds the open guy? As opposed to, 2 years ago, it felt like you had a wide receiver one in Jordan Addison. Do you prefer one or the other?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think just that you've got enough good skill sets in the room that you feel like you have some advantages on the field that you can go, tap into, and that you can go put people in a position where, they've got to make some tough decisions defensively. And so, no, I honestly like it how we have it, kind of with this group where a lot of guys have stepped up. A lot of guys have had big games. I think we're, a pretty multiple group to defend. It's not like you can go defend us and just zero in on one guy. That makes it a lot tougher. And, yeah, sometimes that's just the way that these games go. But I think never complaining about having an alpha, but when you got a good complete room, like I feel like we're really starting to become, that can be even tougher to defend.
Coach, that third quarter, Rutgers gets a score, and it's a one-score game, and you're kind of almost in one of those situations where we've been in a couple times this year where it feels like the other team's catching momentum, and maybe a couple times this year we let them slip away. I thought the McKale Lemon play, the defense going 3 and out, were maybe two of the most important series of the season. What were those seasons like, and what was the mindset, I think, going into those series?
Yeah, the guys did a good job. I mean, again, there was really no panic on the sideline. When we gave up the score, we did a good job going out there and rallying. Like you said, coming and getting that explosive play like right off the bat in that series. I agree. That was definitely one of the more important points of the game. You got to be able to go respond, and you're correct. Obviously, punching that one in, getting the stop, and like really grabbing hold of the momentum and really never letting go the rest of the game was absolutely the key.
Coach, we've talked about him a lot this year, and for good reason. I got to bring him up again. Woody Marks is playing at a very high level right now, and he seems to keep getting better and better in your offense. How important is it to have a guy like Woody back there, especially alongside Miller, who's in his first year as a starting quarterback?
Very important, very important. He has been, I've said it a lot, he's been one of our most steady players throughout the year. You see the versatility that this guy brings to the table, and he just doesn't have many bad days. He doesn't have many bad practices. He doesn't have a lot of bad plays in games. And, that's one of the first things we talk about with our teams or when new players come into our program is to win, you got to first learn how not to lose. Because so many people just beat themselves by not being ready or not being consistent or not having the right mindset or not working hard all the time. And Woody he's such a steady player and he's such a steady worker and teammate that his game mirrors that. And as you know, you guys have seen, I mean, the best players, we've said it on this show, it's the best players don't make all the highlight plays, right? Those are just players that are capable of making great plays. Great players are the ones that are steady and they're accountable and they just do it over and over, and their mistakes don't happen very often, and typically they're not the type of mistakes that kill you, and it's a really good category to put Woody in.
On the defensive side of the ball, your young pass rushers are really starting to show up. How important from a bigger picture sense are they in that group to develop? You talked about sort of growing this roster, and this is year 3. Getting those guys going has to feel good for the bigger picture of this defense.
It does. It's important for this year. It'll be important as time goes on. I think we've felt like that some of the more gifted pass rushers that we have right now are some of the younger guys. But those guys have to earn through trust and the way they work and the way they prepare to go get those snaps and have those opportunities. And I think you're seeing, some guys like Sam Green and Cam Fountain and guys like that on our practice field have shown that they can rush the passer, but there's a lot more to play in that position and a lot more to the trust of you being out there and having those opportunities. So, they've been developing behind the scenes. Those guys have been working hard. It's fun to kind of see them get out there and start to cut loose and play and gain steam and confidence. I'd put Devin Tompkins in that kind of in that mix as well. These guys have got the ability to make some plays that really impact our defense and our team in a positive way, and they're starting to become more consistent and learn what we do so that their mistakes, conversely, don't really hurt us. And so it's fun to see the evolution of those guys.
Getting you set for USC versus Washington. Washington struggled a little bit on the road this season, but they are very good in their stadium, 4-0 in their stadium, and that's where this game will be played. What are the keys to getting a tough road win on Saturday?
Yeah, you said it. They've been a really good home team. It's a place I've never had a chance to actually be up there for a game.
It's a fun one.
I know it's going to be a good atmosphere, good environment. So one that we're looking forward to, and obviously we've got to go play well on the road and build off some of the momentum and confidence off of how we handled this last week. And these guys, a lot of these guys, I think really starting to get better. And there were just a lot of improvements. I just really love that. Like a lot of the things that we emphasized and said, these are the things that has to happen. Like we have to be able to do these things better. Like our guys really listened and you saw some just big steps. So we've got to keep taking those as a team. We've winning that game makes this one obviously a tremendous opportunity, and we've got to continue the momentum and capitalize on it.
Coach, you talk about the Huskies a little bit. What do you see from them? Obviously, they've taken 2 on the nose the last 2 weeks traveling, and now they get to go back home. What do you see from a talented group in Washington?
Well, they're playing. I think a couple things. One, obviously, it's a new staff, a lot of new players, very different looking team than what they had last year. They're playing really well defensively right now, and number 1 pass defense in the country right now. So guys have come in and done a really nice job. They got a couple of very good players that are returners from last year's defense, and they brought in a lot of transfers, a lot of people from outside the program, and that unit's done a good job coming together. Offensively, playing two quarterbacks a little bit. They've obviously got the transfer, Rogers. It's a great player, very accomplished passer. And then they've got the young athletic kid that they'll throw in there that does a tremendous job as well. So, we know Coach Fish is a really good offensive-minded head coach. They've got a transfer running back that followed him from Arizona that's a very, very good player as well. So, now it's a challenge. I mean, it is. They've lost, they've had a few things that have been similar to us. They lost a couple of really, really close games that they obviously had chances to win. They've had some big wins this year. Obviously beat Michigan at their place. So it's a good roster. It's a talented roster. It's a good group. They're very capable and a lot of ability on both sides of the ball.
Coach, we've talked a lot about starting fast this year, and you guys had the definition of that on offense on Friday. You guys had 4 first-half drives. All 4 of them finished in the end zone. What led to your success on the offensive side of the ball, and how do you build off that going up against Washington this week?
Yeah, we got in a little bit of a rhythm there in the first half. And I know I said it in the first segment, but I think that the O-line was really the key to it. I mean, I think the O-line, our ability to be multiple offensively, and then obviously, being able to turn some of those plays into explosive plays. I mean, that's really what led to it. We didn't have turnovers. We didn't have negative plays, really. We didn't get behind the chains a whole lot, and we were able to, to stay on the field and execute. So, but, yeah, I mean, that, to me, it always starts up front. Guys had a really good performance, and we'll need that again this week.
You're listening to the head coach, Lincoln Riley, on Trojans Live. And a big talking point going into this season was obviously the change of conferences. Now it's played out a little bit. I'm wondering the diversity of opponents in this league and what kind of challenge that has been for you guys as a staff. I know not every team in the Pac-12 was the same, but it felt a little bit like, week in, week out, you were seeing, some similar type styles of teams. It's felt to me and us, and talking about these games where we play a team one week that barely wants to throw a forward pass, and the next week a team that wants to throw it 40 times. What kind of challenge has that been for you and your staff?
Yeah, I think certainly getting used to the league, some of the different opponents. I mean, I know we were looking at one point, we hadn't played a team that returned a defensive coordinator until, I mean, it might have been like week 6 or 7 maybe. So a lot of new coaches even within the league. You're definitely getting used to the skill sets and how some teams try to play the game and all of the officiating, right? Yeah. We've been trying to get used to all of it a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's always that when you go into a new league. There's going to be some of kind of learning your opponents and learning the skill sets and kind of maybe defining what you believe it's going to take to win this league and to win these games. Again, it's you can compare it to I guess our staff has obviously coached in a lot of different leagues and been a part of changes like this. So, I mean, I don't know that any of it's unexpected, but you're just going to learn more and more as you go. And you're right, you see a little bit of everything in this league.
Yeah.
And part of that is, I mean, we got 18 teams. I mean, like you're going to see a lot because there's a lot of teams there.
Coach, 2-parter for me. Obviously Halloween week. I'm very excited about this week. Any plans for the team to do a little trick or treating action? You can't be football all the time. You got to break it up a little bit. And what's your favorite condiments for a hot dog?
2 parts. Took a left
part.
Turn.
It is. It did. I didn't think that was going to be the second question. No.
See the transition there?
Yeah, I did. You did well.
Wow.
So we actually did yesterday. It's kind of a tradition of ours. So all of the coaches' families came up, and then every coach has like different kinds of candy and stuff in the office. The kids all dress up. And obviously in their Halloween costumes and come like trick or treat up at the office. So it's kind of a cool way for us to spend time. And then we typically have a similar thing that we do with the team where they get a chance to interact with our kids and get our kids up, which is that's always been kind of a hallmark of our program, is trying to include everybody in it. So my favorite condiment.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to go mustard. You got it sitting right there, baby.
I'm a big mustard onion guy.
But yellow mustard.
Yellow mustard for sure.
Mustard. All right, good. Sure. I was worried because Cody's a ketchup guy, and I was like, ketchup guys. You never know about ketchup guys.
You asked me what I put ketchup on, and I said maybe
Sounds
a hot
like
dog.
everything.
Yeah, anyways.
There you go.
Coach, last one for me, quick one. We've had a lot of players come in here. We've had Coach Lynn during the bye week. I love the phrase they keep saying over and over, is a standard, right? There's a lot of players out on Friday against Rutgers, especially on defense. How much confidence does that give you as a coach to know that no matter who is in there, they can go out there and dominate and play like they did on Friday?
Yeah, we don't ever want our program to be a place for excuses.
Yeah.
And that's just part of the game. Like, you're going to have injuries, you're going to have tough calls, you're going to have things that doesn't go your way. Like, that's part of it. And you either say poor me, or you have an attitude that we're just going to continue to overcome and do everything that we possibly can and not worry about the things that we can't control. But then the things that we can, we got to make sure that those are done at a high level. So that's a saying we use a lot. The standard's the standard. It doesn't change. We're not going to deviate from it. We know it works. And it's good to see our team obviously buy into that, not worry about all the stuff, out of our control, and really just zero in and go play a good quality football game.
Yeah.
The next challenge is Saturday in Seattle. USC versus Washington. A 4:30 kick will go on at 2:30.